Hey, I just got done watching Cape Fear, uh, episode 6. I'll read it and I'll go from there. The Bowdens, the Bowdens deal with a new neighbor. Natalie begins to question her past. The family takes a trip. This is man. I say this. You know, I always say this. I always say this like every week, but it's true. Uh, so Max Katie lives next door, so it freaked him out in the last episode. They found out he lives right across the street. This dude is messing with them like this is going to be a messy climax. I could see it coming because I think uh, somebody's going to end up getting hurt. And then that girl that was messing with the Bowdens got, they got the they got the two teenage kids, which is the girl and the son. Well, that one girl was messing with both of them. She made love to the sister, and she was with the guy, her brother. So she was burning both ends of the stick. This is some whoever's writing this is doing some twisted writing to me, because I'm like, man. So then somebody put some acid in their tea, so the air conditioner goes out, and they got to get. I kept sitting there going, man, you guys live in that big old house. How come you guys ain't got nobody to come over there and fix that AC? Because I was watching them and they were sweating real bad. I said, why are they sweating? This is how much I was paying attention to this show. I said, boy, they're sweating like there ain't no tomorrow. Why are they sweating so much? Come find out their AC went out. And then the daughter's like, I heard him say something like, well, she says, see, they both of them were suspended from their jobs. So I'm thinking that they spent more money on security systems since they found out Max Cady lives right across the street. Man, Max Cady is a trip. This dude, man, that plays Max Cady is, and then it went back and forth to what he dealt with in prison. So that was a good scene too, because it had flashbacks of what he went through while he was in prison. Now, we all know that the Bowdens did something shady for him to be wrongly accused for murder. Even though he's a jackass, he is not a very good person. But apparently, when he went to prison, they must have not uh, did his trial right. Because if you watch the other two movies, that's what it's all about. The guy came out because he knew that they didn't do him justice when he went to court. So whatever the Bowdens, that's the name of the family that represented him, but the Bowdens is the husband and wife, and they, they work in, with the courts. So whatever they did to Max, it must, for him to spend that much time in prison, he is making them suffer bad. Then he found out that that girl has been living in that house the whole time. Because when you buy a big house, you don't know what's behind the walls, because they've been renovating that house if you watch the series. But she's been living in this area of the house that they had no idea that was in there. And that's how she's been able to maneuver in and out of that house, messing with their son's head, because she gets inside his head. But she also got inside their daughter's head as well. So that girl's alive. I thought the girl was dead, but that girl's alive. So whoever was the dead body that, uh, uh, the woman that plays the wife of, the couple, she went somewhere and found this dead body, this head being bashed in, and then I thought it was that woman, that girl, which is supposed to be the daughter of Max Cady, but it's not. So it's Anna. So it's Anna is the one that went to go see that girl that's supposed to be Max Cady's daughter, and whoever that body was, it wasn't Max Cady's daughter. And I don't even know if that's Max Cady's daughter, but it might be. But here's the twist. Come find out, you guys know the Bowdens is the main family. And so Anna, one of Anna's kids could possibly be Max Cady's kid, which I thought is that's a little bit too much for me, because in the other Cape Fears there was none of that. But you know how these modern writers are, they have to throw all this other kind of tangled stuff in there, so which is cool, because we're dealing with different decades of a Cape Fears. You have the Cape Fears, the Cape Fear back in the 50s. I think it came out in 1957 or something. I was born in 59, so it came out in 50 something or 60. It was black and white. Or was it 55, 57 or something like that? They just had a daughter. There was none of that, it's Max Cady's kid, or did they have sex, so that wasn't in there. Then you fast forward to 1990 something, when I went and seen Cape Fear for the first time, because I didn't know there was original Cape Fear back in the 50s. That's the one I went and seen with, with the Minds Blake, with Nick Nolte and Robert De Niro, and that was really good. But their daughter was their daughter, so there was none of that in there. But now you fast forward into 2026, with it being a series, I'm quite sure they had to throw in some. But it is a good series, you guys. So anyway, they went on this acid trip, you guys, and it was so funny. The whole family was on acid because somebody spiked their tea, because they was drinking a lot of tea because it was so hot. But when they was on that acid trip, it was so funny. Man, I don't know how many times they had to rehearse those shots, man, because they were all tripping and laughing and stuff, and it was so funny, man. So I was like, and then while they were tripping on acid, there was this drone inside there. I don't know where this drone came from, but that drone looked like, they said, is that drone for real? So they started following the drone. The drone was backing up, and you could see Anna and her husband follow. Anna and Tom is the mom and dad. So Anna and Tom is like following this drone. It shows the camera looking at them, and they're still on acid, and they're following the drone. All of a sudden, pow, man! The teenage daughter has a shotgun, and she shoots that thing, and it was like, I didn't see that coming. So it's really getting good. So you had that scene. So then they kind of like came down a little bit, but man, that acid trip was funny. It was so funny, man, because they did a really good job. I wonder how they did that. They did a good job. There's some really good acting in this movie, man. Oh, in this series. So anyway, he said, well, we're going to get to Bombay. So they decided to walk across the street and talk to Max. And you know how Max Cady is. He's just, this dude that plays Max Cady, man. All the Max Cady's been good. But this guy is, he's taking it to a whole nother level. So anyway, he's all, come in here, man. So I'm fixing dinner, and then he's got their cat. They said, is that our cat? He goes, yeah, he was pretty hungry. He goes, and they was just like, why you got our cat? I think he took the cat, but the cat was eating and all that kind of stuff. And they said, well, what are you doing with peanut butter? And he said, you named your cat Peanut Butter? He goes, you don't name a cat Peanut Butter. It was just the little bitty tiny things in this, you guys. That's just. So anyway, he sits down. He tries to get them to eat dinner. He didn't want to eat dinner. So finally, they just cut through the crap, and they asked him, says, you need to leave our family alone. This, and that, and what can we do to? They was trying to figure out if they can give him a bunch of money so he can start him a restaurant, or he said, and then he started messing with him at this kitchen table, you guys. You have to watch this scene, how he was messing with him. But then anyway, they come to the climax. Tom gets up, he goes, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, he says, man, if you don't leave us alone, he goes, something's bad going to happen. He goes, oh, what's that? He goes, you'll see. He goes, well, in that case, then you're going to have to kill me. He goes, and Tom looked at him and goes, that's what I'm going to have to do. And he says, So then he says something. He tells him to get the F out of his house. But and then that's when you find out that Max Katie's daughter is living in this house because that son is he is messed up, but the daughter's just as messed up as well. You have to watch this. I hope people start watching this series. People really need to put this series on their radar. And this is an excellent series. And what gets me is I really didn't think I was going to like this, you guys. I really didn't. I did not think I was going to like this at all. Because, you know, I loved the one with Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte. That was so good. And then when you got to understand, back in that time, I heard that there was an original Cape Fear. I said, oh, I was much younger then. I said, there's an original Cape Fear? So I looked it up, and there, sure enough, it was an original Cape Fear. So when I decided to watch it, it was in black and white. Because you got to understand, when I went to go see it, I went to the theater to go see it because they had Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte and Jessica Lange, I think, was the one that played, Tom and Anna. So, because Nick Nolte played Tom and then Jessica Lange played Anna. But when I went to go see the one in the black and white, because I watched it on DVD somewhere, and it was really good. So I was shocked. I said, well, this was just as good as the one in the 90s. So this series is good. The difference between the series, again, I'll let you know this, the difference between the series and the two movies is it's more of a deep dive into the family. Instead of having one teenage daughter, they have a teenage daughter and a teenage son. But I'm thinking that Tom and Anna is holding a lot back, and Tom and Anna's got 2 kids, and one of those kids might not be Tom's. And if that's the case, that'd be really messed up. So, of course, you know how today's writers are. They always got to throw that crap in there, which is still good, but they're making it like at the end when they was walking across the street, when Max told him to get out of his house, he goes, "What's that?" Hey, Tom asked Anna, "What's that all about?" And she goes, "What do you mean, what's that all about?" And he goes, "Did you sleep with Max?" Because when she was representing Max, she goes, "Well, you gotta understand, I was at a vulnerable moment." She goes, "No, Tom, I was pregnant with your child." So if this turns out to be like one of these kids belonged to Max, and then they still sent Max off, because I'm just wondering what's really going on with this. It's getting good. So it's got me intrigued, because we're on episode 6, so we got 4 more episodes to go. But I'm telling you guys, I don't know, man. That would be really messed up if you find out that one of those kids belonged to Max, and only one of those kids belonged to Tom. Or it would be messed up if both of those kids belonged to Max, and Tom is not the dad, and then I don't know. But these writers had to throw all this in here because this is a series. So they're doing more of a breakdown of. So it's a really good deep dive into what Max went through when he was in prison, how he shouldn't have went to prison, even though he's a jackass. He shouldn't have went to prison. And then Tom and Anna are hiding something, because I think they didn't represent his case like they were supposed to, and I think they did something to make him be more guilty, or so they can get him out of the way of whatever them two are hiding. So them two are hiding something. So this ain't gonna have no happy ending at all. Because let's face it, in Cape Fear the one that came out in the 90s, they didn't know there was no happy ending, because Max Cady ended up drowning in that movie because he was trying to kill them on a ferry. They went out to get away from everything, and then the guy that played Max Cady, Nick Nolte, and Jessica Lange and Robert De Niro played. Him and Nick Nolte was fighting, and then he was beating Nick Nolte's butt, but Then Nick Nolte had these handcuffs and handcuffed him to the ferry, and the ferry ends up hitting this big rock, and they end up swimming ashore. And Max Cady is connected to that boat, and the boat's going down, and Max Cady's just staring at him, and he just goes down in the water and he drowns. That was in the '90s movie. The one in the '50s, he got shot in the stomach, and he couldn't do nothing because he was losing too much blood. And so the guy that played Tom was just standing in the water saying, well, you're going to end up, you're going to live the rest of your life in prison, and you're going to remember this day and all that one. So that's how the one in the '50s ended. I don't know how this one going to end, because this one got some. But what I do like about this one is you're doing some really dark, deep down. I mean, not only is this Tom and Anna, you call them the Bowdens, are hiding something. The daughter and the son, they're just as messed up as, they're messed up. And then you got that one girl that's messing with both teams. The son she's got the son all messed up, and then she made love to the daughter. Now the daughter's got a drinking problem. This is crazy. This is getting really, really good. So anyway, God bless. We'll catch you next video. We'll see what happens next week.